Have you ever had a teammate who was toxic for no reason?
I think it's a massive DPS gap.
Perhaps someone who threatened to AFK if some condition wasn't met?
Oh, there we go again, is it?
Chances are, if you're watching this video, the answer to both of those questions is yes. And if it isn't, you probably just haven't played enough. I wanted to see if these kinds of teammates were actually holding me back from winning games. So I decided to spend 10 games in and out of comms to see what would happen. And to make the results a bit less skewed, I split my playtime between two accounts. My main, and an account that's a bit more kawaii.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Originally, I was gonna play all the roles available, but then after 20-minute queue on support, this happened. Safe to say we lost that game. So I figured that would be best to only play tank since waiting half an hour for a game didn't sound super fun to me. It was closer to the player base average, sitting at Diamond 1, and that meant that not only would my queues be faster, but this experiment would be more applicable. So here's game 1 for real this time. And I recorded it with the wrong bitrate. So here's a quick rundown of what happened. Game 1 started with me immediately swapping to Orisa after dying once to a Doomfist. Shameless, I know. Their tank thought so too. So we both ended up counter-swapping the rest of the game. I got a nice 3k on Zarya, but it just wasn't enough. The next 4 were straightforward wins though. Nothing too out of the blue happened, but I did manage to use Dex Chat to boost our team's morale and raise up a Mercy in an Ilios game. It was a very cursed game.
That's cool. That's actually so cool. And that's great.
And in one Blizzard World game, this was a teammate I got.
Monkey! 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 I'll get it! He'll get it! He'll get it! He'll get it!
Thank you, Marquise. Very cool. So I finally started to record properly again, and it almost felt like that made me play better. I managed to completely zone and shut down this Doomfist, turning what could have been pretty good plays from his side into plain out ends. We secured the ground pretty convincingly after that. Of course, they decided to swap Zarya and Symmetra in the next one. Luckily for me, they had no awareness, and I was able to dive their other squishies without much trouble. In the next game, something terrible happened. Something almost all Overwatch players have experienced. The other team had a cheater. It wasn't just any cheater though, it was a closet one that almost exclusively played Ana. And the way they cheated was actually kinda clever. They would use aimbot, but only on Sleep Dart. And they would try to only use Sleep Dart if they would die otherwise, which meant that they just wouldn't get banned. But if I wanted to win, I knew that I would need to lock in, even if I was gonna get cheated on. We got a pretty good hold. But that only meant that the Ana was going to crank up the cheats to 11. And my Sombra was gonna be on the receiving end of it. They quickly learned their lesson and swapped to Pharah. This would normally be bad, but it seemed like the Ana's cheats didn't work after a certain range. I win, I felt pretty good. But then I got one of the most boring tank games I've ever played. I did manage to pull off a kind of decent play though. Round 2 wasn't much different. The next game, I rolled out on Winton. They had D.Va. I married D.Va because monkey bad. I diffed D.Va and got a free win. Fortunately, the enemy tank in our game after that wanted to spice things up and get creative. It didn't really work out for them, so they went Ryan. Okay, they might be the super TF of Diamond. We could have had a decent game against each other, but there was an astronomical DPS gap. On my ult now, I was ready for the flame, okay? Doomfist? No. That's not how things work around here. The counter-swapping returns. I might be in the risk of a TP alert. I was actually having fun. Enough horsing around though. because I wanted to see if I could actually play a hero that requires skill. So I picked Winston again. Then I realized skill is for people with honor, and that counter swapping is peak. This Zarya game shows why. I got a game so boring that the only interesting part about it was the chat.
Is more than capable of caring for herself.
I was on a 14-game win streak. Surely nothing bad would happen that would ruin it, right? Yeah, so I got the Metro of Diamond on my team twice. I was pretty tilted at this point, but the next game was different. They had QAF again, the cheater, and I knew that I couldn't let my tilt be the reason I lost to one of the dumbest cheaters. So I locked in, eating a lot of their sleep darts. Help them that their tank kind of like feeding. In the end, after playing a bit of Baby D.Va Simulator, we got her on. Caught me, we got hands down once, and the tilt started to kick in. But instead of letting it ruin my game, I decided to channel it with the power of Orisa. I fed a bit at one point, but my Genji decided that Necros wasn't gonna play Overwatch. He'd like to take that spot. And then, after C9, we got a win. And if you're still not convinced that the Ana was cheating, here's what they did to my Genji. With only 2 more games left, although my win streak was gone, I was pretty hopeful. But then, I got hit by everyone's favorite, AFKs. I became one with the ball and joined them. That might sound like the worst type of game to play, but for my last one, I got hit by something almost as bad. A really boring game. Honestly, there isn't much more to say about it. And that marked the end of my adventure. In the end, my teammates weren't really an issue. In fact, I performed better when I was in voice chat and hadn't muted chat. I guess that really goes to show how little they matter if you can play well. And even if they are to blame, flaming them probably isn't going to improve the chances of you winning the game. So why not be a bit kinder and try some introspection?